Hey, what's up? It's Jack, and today I'm going to talk about how to do the NODDON. So before I cover that, I just wanted to cover some other blind specific hardware while I'm at it. So first I'm going to go over what kind of earmuffs I recommend you use, and we'll get to the NODDON at the end for the grand finale, so to speak. So in terms of earmuffs, I don't actually know the specific name of this model. It's probably written somewhere, like here, but it's in like German, so I can't really read that very well. But it's called, well, Uvex on the side. That's probably the brand name, but I don't think the brand name matters too much. I think just get a set of like decent earmuffs. Like this one costs like 50 or 60 Australian dollars, or maybe like 40 USD. So it's a bit on the high end, but any like half decent earmuff should probably do the job. Just get like the one with like a pretty damn high noise cancelling capability setting thing on it, and then you'll be fine. I'm good to go. Maybe look up reviews to make sure it's comfortable as well, and that should be good enough pretty much. Okay, next, so in terms of earplugs, which is the much cheaper alternative, like I think I got this 50 pack of earplugs for like maybe 20 Australian dollars. Maybe a bit more or less, I can't remember exactly, but they're pretty damn cheap, and they block out, I think, around the same amount as what earmuffs do. So they're just as useful, but I've been switching to using earmuffs more so recently because they're easier to like, you know, slap on and take off. So that's the reason why I tend to lean towards using earmuffs. I do use both though in maybe particularly noisy competitions like the Arnold Classic. That competition where I solved the cube blindfolded for Arnold Schwarzenegger, that was hell. And also when I feel like being a tryhard, like, you know, multi-blind, when you're solving, you know, 30 plus cubes blindfolded, or less or more, depends on whether you're Graham or not Graham or row. But yeah, ultimately it's just kind of personal preference otherwise. But just get something that has a pretty solid noise cancelling level on it, and make sure it's comfortable, and you're good to go. Okay, onto the blindfolds. So as for the blindfold, I recommend something similar. Just get something that's reasonably comfortable, and also something with an adjustable strap so it's also comfortable. In terms of the specific blindfold that I use, this is called the Alaska Bear Sleep Mask, I believe. I think I heard first about Stanley Chappell using it, and yeah, I just looked it up afterwards, and I also found a pattern of the same like model that has a bunch of stars on it. Looks familiar, doesn't it? I think I saw it from Max's 18:28 world record average, which I bet by 0.01 seconds later on. So if you want to be a Max Hilliard reincarnation, feel free to buy that if you want. Or just use the same blindfold that I am pretty sure Stanley still uses this as well. It's pretty solid, pretty affordable as well, like sub 10 US dollars I believe, not including shipping, but I have Amazon, so that doesn't really matter too much. And yeah, I just like it a lot. It's very comfortable and usable, and has this thing which allows me to do this bad boy, which is the next thing I want to talk about. So in order to do the NODDON, preferably have an adjustable strap. Make sure it is tensioned just right so that you can nod your head with minimal effort and the blindfold will just come down. You'll probably see me do like kind of like a test NODDON before an official solve, and my 2 like deep breaths, just to make sure things are working okay, and I recommend you do the same. This isn't really useful for anyone that averages maybe above like, I don't know, world class level. I mean, it probably saves like a couple of milliseconds. Maybe if you're sub 30, maybe that will probably come in handy. And it might, you know, help me break my first world record, so who knows. But otherwise, it's more of like, you know, a flex and just to, you know, look cool. But still nice to know, I suppose. If you want to get a different type of blindfold though, one advice I'd recommend is to not look up blindfold counterintuitively, because if you do, you might find some kinky stuff. So I just wanted to throw that out. But if you do want to buy kinky stuff, then you do you. But keep in mind, well, I don't know the WCA regulations, but I'm pretty sure if you bought something that seemed kind of inappropriate, then maybe up to the delegate's discretion, maybe they might not permit it. But, you know, I don't know my regs, but that's probably there. Feel free to comment down below if you know these relevant regs better than me. I think that's about it. Oh, also just a brief history of the NODDON while I'm here. Some people think that I made the NODDON, but the person that invented it was actually like Graham Siggins, who I think came up with it back in like February last year. I think I was the first person to use it in competition, but like he was the one that made it, so I'm gonna credit him, not me. So yeah, that's how to do the NODDON, and just also a brief discussion of the type of stuff that I use in terms of blind specific hardware. Just like pretty, like, what do you call it? High level noise cancelling earmuffs. They're definitely worthwhile getting if you're serious about blind, and they're not too costly either. Earplugs are much cheaper and they kind of accomplish the same thing. I just like earmuffs better because you can put them on a lot more easily. I guess the downside is that like maybe they have, at least this type of one kind of has that motion pushing in, whereas earplugs don't have that, so that might be a disadvantage, but it's up to you. Earplugs are also more affordable. Blindfold, I recommend the Alaska Sleep Silk Mask or whatever you call it. There's also like the Max Hilliard pattern, which is what I'm going to call it from now on if you want to go like, yo, I am the next Max Hilliard, time to drop some sub 15s, and that's about it. I'm just gonna not don this video away and see you next time. Also, be sure to subscribe for more blindfolding tips. Yeah, blindfolding tips. And also sign up for my newsletter for more blindfolding tips, but in written form, where I spend like 1 to 2 hours writing like 2 paragraphs because I'm such a tryhard and perfectionist. Yep, that's about it. See ya.